All right, this is how I use intermittent fasting to stay really lean and muscular year round, and frankly, very easy. So today I'm going to show you exactly what I do to use intermittent fasting, to have abs year round, to stay quite fairly muscular and strong, and all doing so with little to no hunger, and doing so quite easily. I'm also going to talk about who should use this for themselves, and then how you can set this up to where you can use intermittent fasting to frankly just stay really, really lean and muscular year round. So I think there's a big misconception out there that with, intermittent fasting, all the videos you see online are people talking about it. They always talk about like the benefits of, fasting with autophagy, or, they think it's some like crazy fat burning strategy. You'll have lower blood sugar levels in the morning if you go out and do fasted cardio that's burning a lot more fat. Me as a bodybuilding hybrid athlete, coach for several years, I've had hundreds of clients, and I can tell you that I have prepped bodybuilding clients to incredible stage shreddedness with no fasted cardio. And I've also done so, with fasted cardio. The fasted cardio thing, guys, is like the kind of the cream on top. It's not going to make a massive difference. The thing with intermittent fasting, why it works so well, is you essentially just take the same calories or macros that you're eating in a day, and now you do it in a shorter eating window. So, let's say rather than you getting up at 8 o'clock, you immediately having your breakfast, your first meal of the day, and then eating, your meals all throughout the day until, close to bedtime. That could be, say, a 14, 16-hour eating window. During that time period, because you're spreading those calories out, a lot of times you'll have blood sugar drops, all of that's causing you to get hungry. One thing I see so many times with my clients is that, they're fine with their discipline of eating throughout the day, but then when night comes, the cravings hit hard and they get really hungry. This is how it works within myself. If I start eating right in the morning, even if I'm spreading my meals evenly throughout the day, at night I'm still pretty dang hungry and wanting to eat a lot. The beautiful thing with intermittent fasting is if you get up and you're fasting only drinking, say, coffee or tea or frankly water, I do a couple cups of coffee in the morning, and then you don't break your fast until, say, noon. Now from noon to 8, you're fitting all of those, all your regular calories and macros in that eating window, to where not only are you staying more satiated throughout the day, but because you're fitting, like, let's say, for me, let's say I'm eating 3,000 calories a day. If I'm to spread 3,000 calories a day over a 16-hour eating window, it's going to feel like a lot less, even though it's the same calorie load as if I did 3,000 calories in an 8-hour window. My stomach's going to just feel more full. By the time 8 o'clock rolls around, I'm pretty dang full still from the last meal. So that's why this works so beautifully. It's really, really simple. It's no rocket science behind this. You're really just choosing not to wake up immediately and eat your first meal. And then that way, your whole eating window, you're going to stay more full. This works really, really well for those of you that are naturally not very hungry in the morning. I personally have never had a huge appetite in the morning. So intermittent fasting for me is extremely easy because I would prefer not to eat early in the morning, especially after years and years of competitive bodybuilding and force feeding food. I enjoy waking up with, even some slight hunger, and then breaking my fast around noon. So how I do it is, I eat the same macros I would eat as if I was spreading this out throughout the day, the same protein, carbs, and fats, but I do so from about noon to 8 o'clock at night. I don't have a hard set rule, on the time, but that's typically average for me is eating from about noon to 8. And because of that, during my eating window, I'm full and I have no cravings at night, and don't want to overeat, frankly. So you can be in a deficit even and use this strategy to drop weight with a lot less hunger and a lot less craving. So the only people I would recommend not doing this is if you are doing everything in your power to bulk, you're a competitive bodybuilder, you're trying to put on as much muscle as possible, there's probably going to be some force feeding involved that you're going to need to do. With that, you're going to need to use basically all your waking time as possible to get in the food, to make sure you're digesting it. This is a strategy why intermittent fasting works, is because you're now crunching together all your calories into a shorter eating window. That way, you are more full. So you would need to spread it out to give your digestive system time to digest each meal. So the only people I would really recommend this not do intermittent fasting is if you're in a heavy bulking period trying to put on a bunch of muscle, and all of that. Now, if you're just trying to maintain muscle, so like with me, I'm not trying to get bigger. I'm not competing in bodybuilding anymore. But I want to maintain and increase my strength and then maintain my muscle mass while increasing density and maturity. I can absolutely do that fitting all of my, say, protein into a 6 to 8 hour eating window. It doesn't really matter, everyone talks about, you need the protein synthesis throughout the day and all of that. And I'm telling you guys, that maybe makes a 1 or 2% difference. If you're just getting the same amount of protein in, each day, it doesn't matter whether you get it in 8 hours or you get it in 16 hours. The only time it's going to really, really matter for you is if you are actively trying to put on as much muscle as possible. So someone who's a competitive bodybuilder, I wouldn't really recommend doing this. So how to set this up for yourself. So if you guys have seen my past videos on how to set up your macros, that's where I would start. Go ahead and find how many macros you need. You can go use a free online TDEE calculator and it'll spit out, a fairly accurate number for you on how much protein, carbs, and fats you need per day. Take that number and now, start your first meal of the day at say noon and finish around 8 or whatever 6 to 8 hour eating window works best for you. Eat that, spread out among, 3 to 5 meals during that eating window. For me personally, what I do is I do 3 whole meals and 2 shakes. So I'll have meal 1 at noon. A couple hours later, I'll have a shake, a protein shake. Then I'll eat meal 2 a couple hours after that. And then I'll have another protein shake after I work out. And then I'll have my last meal of the day around 8 o'clock. That's the easiest way to do it. But this is not some rocket science thing on, it's a magic pill to lose fat. Essentially, it just is a strategy in which you can stave off cravings and hunger. And if you're in a deficit, this works beautifully, guys. This is a super easy way to lose fat and not be incredibly hungry through the process. You might have times throughout the day where you're hungry, but if you've got a short eating window, you're going to be having your next meal really, really, really quickly. And bunching your calories all together will just make you feel more full, and you won't have as many cravings. But I hope this helped you guys. Go ahead and try intermittent fasting out for yourselves. I'm telling you guys, this is it's been kind of a game changer for me over the last couple of years since I retired from pro bodybuilding. It's just super, super easy for me to maintain great shape now. But let me know if you have any questions. Leave any comments or questions down below. Hit that like button. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. All glory to God. God bless y'all and have a great rest of your day.